Good afternoon, everybody. YouTube knitters, welcome back. My name is Peyton. I keep forgetting to say that in the videos. We are gonna be talking today, as the title suggests, about new and unreleased patterns. I could talk about this for days because I feel like every day I'm like going on Instagram and on Ravelry and seeing all of these new patterns that people are designing and putting out, and I'm just always so inspired by people's creativity and what people are making. I'm mainly going to be chatting through designs from small designers or new to me designers. Yeah, there isn't any like Petite Knit, My Favorite Things, Ozetta, those kind of designers patterns in here. Not that I don't also love their patterns as well, but y'all already know about those patterns. You know, you don't need me to tell you about them. Not that you need me to tell you about anything, but I'm going to do it based on month. So I'm going to chat through patterns released in May, patterns released in June, and then unreleased patterns. I figured May was, last 2 months, pretty recent, even though May honestly feels like it was quite a while ago. But that is how we're going to do it. It's not like seasonal. It's not all summer patterns or that type of thing. I don't knit seasonally. I know that's kind of a big thing for some people to, do summer knitting in the summer and winter knitting in the fall and winter. But I'm all over the place with that. That isn't much of a thing for me. That's about that. I've got my notebook here. Honestly, I never plan out, or I say never, we only have 3 videos, but I haven't planned out anything for those videos yet. But this one, I did some, I've got some notes. I've got my knitting journal with me, which, as you can see, I never use. I've had this for like 2 years, and this is how much of it I have filled up. Yeah, I'm not very good at organized journaling. I love to journal, love a notebook, but more of in a chaotic way. So the organized journaling doesn't usually work for me, but maybe now I will use this for some video stuff, maybe. And I've got one of those like mini printers that prints out things onto stickers, and I'm obsessed with that thing. It's stunning. Anyways, I am going to mention how much they cost, what weight of yarn they use, how many projects there are on Ravelry. I don't really know if anyone cares about that, but whatever. I wrote it down anyways. Their size range. And then we're also going to chat through color inspo, how I'm feeling color-wise about each of these patterns. That is a big thing for me, I feel like, in my knitting. My assumption is that's quite common with other knitters as well. Sometimes you have like a pattern in mind, and then you're thinking, what color do I want to knit this? Or you've got like a color in mind, and then it's like, what pattern would suit this color, or that type of thing. I don't know. That happens for me quite often, I would say. So we're going to be chatting through color as well. I do have one pattern that was released in April. I wanted to mention this because all of the other patterns are ones that I would make for myself, but this first one is one that I would like to make for Seth, the camera crew, who's off to the side here. And that is the Notebook Mono Sweater Man by Oddbro. This was released towards the end of April, I think. If you see me looking over here as well, I've got my phone over here and I'm flipping through the photos of each of these so I can just remind myself what they look like. But for you, they'll be over here on the screen. This is knit in an Aran weight. It costs £8 and it has 3 projects on Ravelry. Goes from sizes extra small to 3XL. I thought the stitch pattern of this one looked really cool. I like the variation throughout. It looks like it's a saddle shoulder construction, and I liked that it seems like the saddle shoulder is like its own stitch and then the rest of it's a different kind of stitch pattern. There's just a couple things going on and it all looks really nice together. I think that if I were to make this for Seth, I would probably do more of a crew neck than a mock neck. I can't really picture Seth in a mock neck. And in terms of color, what was coming to mind for me was maybe an olive green or a navy blue. I think both of those would look quite nice on Seth. The idea of a navy blue just now is sounding really nice, actually. But you know what? I was chatting with Seth just earlier today about this, and he brought up the possibility of a burnt orange, which was, I have never seen Seth wear anything burnt orange, but I thought, brilliant idea. I love it. We'll see if I get around to making this one for Seth. The construction looks super cool. It looks like it would be really fun to make. It looks almost like classic and simple, but with good visual interest. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's our first pattern, and the only one from April that I'll be mentioning. Now we're moving on. As I said at the beginning, patterns released in May. Okay, so the first one I'm going to chat about that was released in May is the Bronco Vest by Megan Faith Makes. Honestly, all of Megan Faith Makes patterns are so stunning to me. She does a lot of different intarsia patterns, and they're all absolutely stunning. I haven't made any of them because it's a goal of mine in 2026 to do a full intarsia garment. I'm working on a project right now where a little section of it has some intarsia. I mentioned it in my last video. So I tried intarsia for the first time there, and that was my introduction to it. I did find it to be a bit of a faff to have all of the different balls of yarn at once, but it wasn't too bad. I still definitely want to do a full intarsia garment. I need to practice a little bit more before that, but once I have practiced a little, I will absolutely be doing the Bronco Vest because this is just such a cool design. It's knit in a worsted weight. It costs £6. There's 4 projects on Ravelry. It comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. As for colors, I would just do it in what she did in her design. I would maybe do a different color horse, perhaps, because hers is like all white with a black mane. I don't know, maybe I would change that, but besides that, I'd be doing everything the same. I would probably even just use a suggested yarn. Bit of a fun fact about me, actually. I was raised in like a rodeo family. My parents met while doing college rodeo, I'm pretty sure. A ton of my relatives are into rodeo. I grew up rodeoing. My grandpa was a professional bronc rider, which is what the person on the vest is doing, is they're bronc riding. Yeah, not my calling these days, but definitely big part of my family. But honestly, I think whether you are a rodeo person or you have never touched a horse in your life, this is just a cool pattern no matter what way you cut it. Yeah, I think it's stunning. And this isn't the only one of, like I said, of Megan Faith Makes patterns that I want to do. I actually just saw recently on her Instagram that she posted one of like, it's these 2 horse heads next to each other. I think it was a vest or a sweater maybe, and 2 horse heads next to each other with this kind of like floral bit underneath. And it was just so cute. All of them, they're so adorable. She's got one that I think is called the Homestead sweater that's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, if you're not following her, you need to check out her patterns. They're stunning. That is the first one released in May. Next pattern that was released in May that I'm going to chat about is called the God is a Woman sweater by Pop Knit. This is knit in a lace and a DK held together, which I suppose equals an Aran. And this is a free pattern, actually, and it's a cable knit jumper, which I feel like you never see. Really kind of the designer to make this free. There's 46 projects on Ravelry, and it goes from sizes extra small to 3XL. The pattern photos on this one are actually kind of one of the ones where it's quite hard to tell like fully what the sweater looks like, which is usually such a pet peeve of mine. I don't know what is up with that sometimes when designers like you can't tell what the whole garment looks like in their photos. But whatever. And you know what? For this, we'll let it slide because this is a free pattern and it looks stunning from what you can tell. There's something simplistic about it that makes it look really nice to me. I don't know, because sometimes I'll see cabled jumpers and they look really busy. Like there's a lot going on, you know what I mean? And sometimes it looks a bit too much for me, I feel like. But this really doesn't do that. I don't know. I wish I could think of the word, because simple isn't it. But unfortunately, that's the only word coming to my mind. And the construction of this looks really nice as well. I believe it's a saddle shoulder. I really like the way that kind of extends into the arm with the cables. It also has like a wee roll neck at the top. I love that look on a jumper. It really looks like a beautiful sweater, and I'd be really curious to knit this up. In terms of colors, I don't know. I wrote down navy or brown. I do really like the kind of taupey color that the sample is knit in. I knit a sweater in a similar color not too long ago. I made a winter's pullover in Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool in a shade that looks very similar to the sample of this sweater. And then when I made that, I had a bunch of leftover yarn from it, so I've been using the kind of odds and ends everywhere. And so I'm just kind of starting to feel a bit over that color. You know what I mean? I think at first I thought it'd be nice to knit in a similar color to the sample, but now I'm feeling like, no, I don't think so. I already have a kind of dark brown cable knit jumper. Navy kind of just seems, I don't know, unexciting a little bit. I do really want to make a bright red cable knit jumper, but not for this one. This one isn't giving bright red to me. I don't know. We'll stick with navy for now, but that's not feeling quite right. I feel like the right color for this jumper hasn't quite come to me yet, you know? So we'll leave it there with that one. The next knit I'm going to chat through that was released back in May is called the Fiori Sweater Adult by Caldo Unica. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing the designer's name wrong, which I probably will at various points throughout this, so I apologize in advance. This sweater looks really gorgeous. It's knit in a DK weight, costs about £8. Some of these weren't in pounds, but I just converted them all to pounds anyway, so I thought that would be simplest. And so it's around £8. There's 2 projects on Ravelry, except I didn't find this project on Ravelry originally. I saw it on Instagram and then on her website, and I saw more projects on Instagram than I did on Ravelry. So, you know, I don't think there's only 2 projects been made of it. And it comes in sizes small to medium to extra large, double extra large. So I think though that there's only 4 sizes and it's like 2 sizes combined into one for each size. You know what I mean? Like a small, medium, medium, large, large, extra large, double XL. I also think that this sweater was originally released in children's sizing, and then the designer also released the adult version. So if you are a parent, great opportunity to make a wee kind of matching sweater. I think that they've done that with multiple patterns where they've got a child's version and an adult one. They also have a sweater that's got like polka dots all throughout that looks really cute as well. But anyways, sticking with this one, lots of color combination options for this one. I mean, right off the bat, I really love the colors done in the design. I love the kind of bright red with the light blue and the light pink accents. So cute. So I would maybe just knit it up in the same colors that the designer did, or maybe kind of switch up which colors are with which. Maybe doing like light blue for the body, red for the flowers, light pink accents, light blue for the body, pink flowers, red accents would also be really cute. I don't think I have anything pink in my closet, and I've never knit with pink before, but recently I've been kind of thinking that I maybe want to dabble with a little bit of light pink, a kind of pale baby pink. I'm maybe wanting to knit something with that. I've had pink in my closet in the past and then I never wore it, so then I've gotten rid of it since. But I don't know, maybe I'm gonna maybe do some dabbling with light pink, so this would be a good project to do it with. I also think something that would be really cute, use a similar color palette but replace one of these colors with like an olive green. It's like a light blue, a red with olive green little accents, or like an olive green body, blue flowers, red accents or pink accents maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think your options are kind of endless in that regard, aren't they? Next one, also released in May, is the Faye Poncho by Helene Beba. Again, I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing this name wrong. And this is knit in a fingering weight, costs about £6. There's 20 projects on Ravelry, and there's only 2 sizes, but I think that's a bit more of the norm for a poncho, and I think a poncho is a little bit easier to make bigger or smaller if you need to, so it's a bit different than like a proper garment, I would say, only having 2 sizes. The yarn that the designer used was the Pure Silk by Knitting for Olive, And that yarn really makes this project for me. Honestly, I have wanted to use the Knitting for All of Pure Silk for so long. I feel like anytime I see a project with this yarn, I'm just captivated by it. It has such a gorgeous look to it and drapes so beautifully, but I've never used it. I'm working up to it. I'm eventually gonna use the Knitting for All of Pure Silk, and maybe it'll be in the Faye poncho. I don't know. Is that my perfect pure silk project? We'll see. I think that if I did make this, I would do a kind of dark golden yellow. I think especially in the pure silk, oh, it just sounds lovely to me. I do have some reservations. I don't know. I was really feeling the ponchos for a bit, and I still am. And and I feel like everybody is. Everybody's knitting ponchos right now, and I'm super into it. But I made this one, which I don't think I mentioned at the beginning, but I'm wearing a recent finished object, which is my Bloomlet poncho by Vicky, I believe is the designer's name. And I don't know. I don't know about this one. I do like it, and I think it's really cute, but there's something about the way that a poncho sits that after a bit, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I get a little bit kind of like fidgety in it, in the way that it sits. I don't know how else to describe that, but maybe some of you will know. I was really, honestly, I had a lineup of ponchos I wanted to make. But now that I've made this, I don't know. I've worn it a bit, but it feels like the poncho silhouette requires specific occasions where I'm like, okay, I can be in a poncho for a while. Even now, by the end of this video, I bet you all be thinking, get this fucking poncho off of me, because I don't know if it's just like the restriction in the arms, but it's really not that restrictive. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm just being a bit dramatic, but I feel like some of my poncho dreams have just kind of gone out the window after finishing this. So realistically, I don't actually know if I'll get around to doing this. I really wanted to knit a poncho with fringe on the bottom. I was seeing some of those, and I think they look so cool. Feeling wise, I don't know. I don't know if those would do it for me or not. The pure silk really does it for me, so it wouldn't really make sense for me to knit in something else. And a golden, dark, kind of golden yellow. It'd be stunning, wouldn't it? That's kind of that, though, for the Faye poncho. Gorgeous pattern regardless. Gorgeous pattern. Now we are into June. These next few patterns were all released in June. I've got 4 of them. So the first one is the Homecoming Quilt Vest by Caitlin Seeberger. I think this one was just released. Well, I mean, they were all released recently, weren't they? It's kind of the point of the video. But I think this one was just released like last week or something. This is knit in a DK weight, costs about £9. There's 43 projects on Ravelry, and the sizes go from a 32-inch to a 68-inch bust. Just yesterday, I was taking a look at this pattern, and I started kind of pulling one-off skeins of yarn that I had to see if I had enough colors that I would want to use for this. And I think I'm going to cast this on like ASAP, because once I pulled these colors, I was just like, I was really feeling into it. Let's see if I can kind of show you all of these together. Can you kind of can you see all that? Honestly, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Yarn falling all over the place, but can you kind of see what I mean there? This is kind of what I'm sitting with as of right now. I don't know. In my heart of hearts, it feels like I should have a red in here. I should have a pop of red, but I don't have any like one-off skeins of red yarn that would work for this. And I don't particularly want to get more, but you know what? I think I might end up having to get one more ball of yarn for this anyways. First off, I don't know if this will be enough yarn. I have more of each bit, but I still don't know if it'll be quite enough. Like this, I don't have more of. So this, like I guarantee I'd need another ball. Maybe not, though. I guess you never know. Most of people's projects I was seeing, they use 6 different colors of yarn, but really, you could use however many you wanted, couldn't you? You could really go crazy with this one. But yeah, I think I am liking this. Some of these are a DK weight. The vest calls for a DK weight yarn. Some of these are a DK weight and some are a fingering. So the DK weight ones I would just hold single, and the fingering I would hold double. And I think they'd be close enough, you know, I'd say good enough. So yeah, I'm actually really keen to cast this on. And I mean, the look of this vest is just really striking, isn't it? Who doesn't love a little quilt block motif? It's just stunning to me. I mean, I love them. Honestly, anything kind of quilt square, quilt block. Oh, there it goes. Honestly, I'm losing my yarn. Anything kind of quilt square look, count me in. I'm there. So yeah, I'm excited to cast this on. I told myself I had to finish a project before I casted this on, and I think I'm going to finish a project in the next few days here. So we'll probably cast this on sometime next week, and I can't wait. I think it'll be maybe more of a long-term project. You know, you do one of those little squares, because I think it's just knit up. You knit up each of the squares, and then you put it together at the end. So, you know, you knit up a square every however so often that you feel like it, and then eventually put them together, I suppose, which sounds kind of nice. The next pattern also released in June, and I'm really excited about this one, y'all. I love the look of this. This is the Circus Blouse by Sophia Holk Patterson. And by the look of it, it seems like this is a really customizable pattern, or there's, you know, there's lots of different options of what you can do with this pattern. So this is knit in a DK weight. Costs about £7. There's 6 projects on Ravelry. It can be knit in sizes 1 to 6. The designer has photos of it knit up in full long sleeve with full polka dots, short sleeve with polka dots, and then my favorite option is the top half is polka dots, and then the kind of torso bit is stripes, vertical stripes. I will be making that version of it. I love the combination of the polka dots with the stripes. It's definitely giving circus vibes. There is something about a kind of circus clown aesthetic that, like, maybe this sounds weird, but I bet you I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not. Something about a circusy clown aesthetic that really does something for me. I don't mean like scary, creepy clowns, obviously, but kind of, you know, think primary colors, think different shapes, like pattern mixing, fun ruffles, kind of billowy silhouettes, which I guess like this pattern doesn't have, but that's kind of what comes to mind when I think clown in a cool way, or circus. And I think that has the ability to be really, really cute. And this top, I feel like, kind of fits into that vibe. In terms of colors, I feel like there's so many options with this that would be really cute. What first came to mind for me was kind of a brown, kind of a darker brown shade with a pale yellow. I think that would be really cute. Like, the polka dots being the pale yellow. I think also a classic like red and white, or more so red and cream, would be really nice. I also think like an olive green with red, a classic. You can't go wrong. Yeah, you could also do like a navy blue with a light blue. The options are endless. I can't wait to knit this up. The designer used, I believe, a wool. I don't remember what specific yarn they used, but I'm sure I remember seeing that it was a wool. But I think I would do mine in a plant-based yarn so it could be a bit more summery. Maybe a cotton or a linen, or like a cotton wool blend, I think would be quite nice. And like I said, I would do the short sleeve version with the polka dots on top, stripes on the bottom. That one is so cute to me. Actually, you know what? Maybe I would make it long sleeve. I think that would be really nice for this pattern. So yeah, I'm super excited about this one, and I will be knitting this up eventually. The next one that I have to share, also released in June, is the Mimi Zip Up by Miranda Knits. And this is knit in an Aran weight, costs about £6. There's 10 projects on Ravelry, and it can be knit up in sizes 1 through 9. I have never installed a zipper into knitwear before, but recently I've really been wanting to make a knit with a double-ended zipper. You know how you can like zip it from either side, or you can just have it like kind of both in the middle. You can zip it from the bottom, zip it from the top. I've really been wanting to do a project with a zipper like that. I think those zippers look so cool. They add like just a cool touch to a project, and I love it. And I think that this would be a really good project for that. It's like really simple, but also the cables on the sleeves give it a little bit of something extra. And the cables are simple as well, but they've got some good visual impact that really do something for this piece, I feel like. First, what came to mind was a kind of chocolatey brown, which I think would fit quite well into my wardrobe, but also what's on my mind for this one is a kind of blood orange red. A red, deep red with a touch of orange. You know what I mean? I think that that would look so cool with this. You know what? Well, I keep thinking that this notebook is kind of that color, but this is more of like a true red, I feel like. Kind of hard to tell, isn't it? I have installed zippers into sewing projects before, and that has always been a bit of a mess for me, honestly. My sewing projects are always a bit of a mess. I never use a pattern. I always just kind of go for it, and so it always ends up being a little bit of a screw around. I've never enjoyed putting a zipper into a sewing project, but I'm a much better knitter than I am sewer, so maybe I wouldn't mind it as much. Let me know what you think of that process if you've done that a bit before. Or if you have any tips, you know, it's kind of one of those things where when you haven't done it, it's like, seems like it would be maybe annoying, but then once you do it, it's like simple, is my assumption. So maybe I'll give it a go with the Mimi Zip Up. Okay, one more project that was released in June, and then we're moving on to the unreleased projects, which I'm really excited to chat about. So the last one released in June is the Ankle Strap Socks by Krusty. Again, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. These look like they would be really cute house slippers. They're knit up in a fingering weight. It's a free pattern. There's 5 projects on Ravelry. They do only come with one size, which, you know, but since they are like socks and they're a free pattern, I reckon you just take a look at the pattern and see if I haven't taken a look at the pattern, but I feel like it would probably be pretty simple to make them a bit bigger or smaller, you know, if you just kind of reduced the size of the middle of the sock, perhaps, is probably how I would go about that. They're knit in a fingering weight, but I think I would knit these up in a bit of a heavier yarn and adjust the pattern a bit to make that work, I guess. And then my idea is that would give them a bit more of a slipper vibe, because I think they would be so cute for just being around the house. They kind of have like a ballet flat look to them that I think is absolutely adorable. I'm really not in need of any slippers right now. I made a pair of like the sailor slippers. I've got those, and I've got another pair of like kind of felted wool slippers that I didn't make myself that I wear all the time. And also Seth's sister is a knitter as well, and she made him a pair of slippers that I steal all the time. I should actually show y'all those at some point because they are the coolest construction ever. I've never seen anything like it. I'm going on a tangent. Okay, I'm gonna focus back in. So anyways, yeah, I don't really need slippers, but maybe I'd make these as a gift for someone, or I'd make them for myself eventually when I do need a pair of slippers. I am really envisioning these in an olive green, in a kind of olive chartreusey green, which I can't help but be pulled towards that color. And I know I'm not alone on that. I feel like everyone is into the chartreusey, olivey, yellowish greens right now. They're everywhere. They're consuming our minds. Am I right? They're consuming mine. But I do think that these as little slippers would be so cute in that kind of color. Also, or periwinkle, a kind of lightish, violety blue, I think would also be really cute for these. So yeah, I should take a look at the pattern and see how easy they would be to change the sizes around. Maybe I should have done this before filming this video, hey? But lo and behold, I did not, and here we are. So, okay, so now we're on to what I'm really excited about, which is the unreleased patterns. These I just found all on Instagram, just, you know, of people who I already follow or who have stumbled across. And so I have less information about each of these, but still a little bit, and you can still like see the photo of what it looks like, right? And get excited. The first one I want to chat about is the Jetty Jumper from What Lydia Made. This is currently in testing. It's being made in a DK weight, and there's 11 sizes. The silhouette of this looks really nice, and I think that the color possibilities are endless for this. I love the kind of square shape that the top has. You get what I'm saying? And I also love a 3/4 length sleeve. I think as well that if you didn't love the 3/4 length sleeve, it would be so easy to just make this into a full length sleeve. You know what I mean? My mind was just going wild for colors, honestly. Again, I know I had mentioned for the circus blouse, I'm really loving a pale yellow and a kind of dark taupe brown right now. That combination, I feel like I'm thinking on that one a lot. I think that would be really fun for this one. I think a periwinkle and a brown would be really cute. Brown for the body, periwinkle sleeves. And I also think a light blue and a bright red would be stunning. I really love a bright red and a light blue color combo. Kind of like this, honestly. Look, I just love that. I don't know what it is. It does something for me. So yeah, and those are just a few color combinations, but honestly, you could really go wild with this. And Lydia, well, I think her name is Lydia. It's what Lydia made. She has just the coolest ideas. So many of her jumpers, like she does really cool color blocking, and she'll put different quotes into her knitted pieces, and it always looks so sick. I really love her stuff. Honestly, all of her patterns are so cool. If you don't follow her, you totally should, and check out her patterns. That is the Jetty jumper. Like I said, in testing. I don't know when it's supposed to be released, but when it is, I'll be on it. Next one that is unreleased, also in testing, is the basket weave top by Studio Clara. The sample that the designer did is in a sport weight. It didn't say specifications for the yarn, but I looked up the yarn that they said that they used, and it was a sport weight. It will be available in 7 sizes from bust size 68 to 148. This, it feels like it's got a really simple silhouette, but then that kind of basket weave pattern makes it look quite cool. It seems like it would also be quite simple to make. And again, color options are endless. I feel like I'm getting kind of repetitive with my color options, but I can't help it. I know what I'm into when it comes to colors, and I just, it is what it is. What I have written down here is a bright red, a navy, which I don't know. Again, I wrote down navy a few times here. I'm just not feeling the navy today. A bright red, an olive, a periwinkle. Like, come on. I feel like I've said that for every single one. I also, though, think that this would be really fun in a cobalt blue. I already have a knitted cobalt blue tank top, so I don't really feel like I need another one. But I do need some more cobalt blue knitted pieces. I really want to do a cobalt blue knit jumper. So I don't think if I were to make this, I would do it in a cobalt blue, because like I said, I already have that. I feel like in this moment, I'm leaning most towards the kind of periwinkle, light blue, violet-y situation. But I think that when I'm imagining it in a cobalt blue, that's really doing something for me. So yeah, basket weave top, Studio Clara. Again, don't know when that's coming out, but it is in testing. Okay, the next one, y'all. You know how you see some new designs and it's like, oh, that's super cute. Oh, that looks really nice. And then you see others that it's like, oh my gosh, that is so bloody stunning. I'm obsessed. That was how I felt when I saw the Moss in the Clouds top by Moshimo Knit. The designer's photos of this just looked so cool, so stunning. It's a made to measure pattern, so no specific yarn or needle size, and it is currently in testing. I have already been thinking about what kind of yarn I might want to use to make this. I will 100% be making this top. At first, I was thinking like maybe it would be nice in a kind of plant fiber, maybe a linen or something like that. But I think the way that the designer's photos look in the mohair, the way that it drapes and hangs just looks so lovely that I think I maybe need to do it in a mohair. At first I was feeling like I wanted to make it a bit more summery, and a mohair would make it like quite warm. I think the way that it looks, I've been captivated by this top. So I think I will probably be doing it in a mohair. And again, honestly, I feel like I could knit this in almost any color and I would still love it. But what's most in my mind right now is maybe like a full brown for most of it, and then those little diamond details that are on the back in a light blue. I think that would be really cute. Or the main part of the top in an olive green with a light pink or red details of the diamonds on the back. One of the samples that they did had a kind of detail on the front, which I'm sure we'll have photos up of how that looks. And then one had it was like little flowers on the front or something like that. And then one of them had the diamond details on the back. I don't think I'll do it with the details on the front, but I'll definitely do those diamond details on the back. Those are super cute. And then buttons that kind of match with, you know, the pearly buttons that kind of match with whatever color you do the back details in. So bloody cute. I can't wait to make this. I don't know. It's gorgeous to me. I really love this one. And you know what? I think that this is this designer's first pattern, if I remember correctly, just from looking at their Instagram. But they did seem to have other knits that they used to sell, like, you know, already knit up. They'd sell like the knitted piece. And all of their pieces were so gorgeous. I really hope that this designer puts out more patterns because their ideas are stunning. If you're not following this designer, I totally recommend it. We'll tag all of the designers' usernames in the description, so you should totally go and check out, honestly, everyone, but especially this person. Really, really gorgeous stuff. Okay, so we've got 4 left here. We're getting through. The next one is the Aventine tank by Restless Knitwear. And you know what I didn't mention about the last pattern? Anytime I see a garment with the buttons on the side as opposed to in the middle, oh my gosh, it just scratches an itch in my brain. I always love that kind of detail so much. And I feel like there's something about the Aventine tank that kind of scratches a similar itch of it's got that the kind of keyhole off to the side. I think it's so cute. This is also in testing. It is knit in a DK weight, and there's 10 different sizes that go from 75 centimeters to 153 centimeter bust. And there's the 2 options that you can knit this in. There's a one with what looks like I-cord ties, and then one with just a button. And at first when I saw this, I was like, I'm definitely gonna do the button one and find like a really cool button for it. But then the more I looked at it, I was like, ugh, the ties look really cute as well. I think it would be so cool if you did like really long ties, you know what I mean? Would just be so sick. I am really also envisioning this in a chartreuse. What else is new? But again, colors, like, you could do anything. I think this would be really cute in a cobalt as well. Like I said, I've already got a cobalt knit tank top. I don't really need another one, but we will see. I do kind of think I'll end up going for the one with the button because there's a yarn store in Edinburgh called, you know what, I've talked about these buttons in every video so far that we've made, but the yarn store in Edinburgh, Ginger Twist, they carry buttons from a brand called Incomparable Buttons that make these really gorgeous handmade ceramic buttons. These are like the coolest buttons I've ever seen, and I definitely think I would head over to Ginger Twist and pick out a really cool button from Incomparable Buttons to use from this. If you want to see what some of these buttons look like, go to the Ginger Twist website because they've got them all on there. And they've got some really cool ones. So yeah, that's quite tempting. But like I said, I love the I-cord version as well. The next one I want to chat about is the rolled neck raglan by Jules Knit This. And actually that's her Instagram name, but I don't know if that's like the name that she publishes patterns under, but her Instagram is Jules Knit This. Same designer who did the roomy raglan, which I feel like has been super popular recently and looks like a really beautiful and really simple raglan sweater. The rolled neck raglan just looks like the perfect simple raglan shape. You know what I mean? It's currently in testing. It's going to be available from sizes 1 to 6. And I believe it's in an Aran or a bulky weight. I don't think it said, you know what? I don't remember. I don't know. My notes on this one are vague, but I believe it's in either an Aran or bulky or somewhere kind of in that ballpark. I think that this would be really nice in a tweedy yarn. Honestly, I like all tweedy yarns. I really like the kind of different speckles in them. Recently, I have been just dying to try out the Noro Madara yarn in the sake color. It looks so, anytime I see people posting with this yarn all the time, and I'm just envious. It's so beautiful to me. I think this would be cool in that yarn, but now that I'm saying that out loud, I think that's maybe more of a DK weight yarn. I could be wrong. I think this would be a good one to do a cobalt in. I know I had said couple patterns ago that I really wanted to do another cobalt jumper, and I think that this would be a good pattern for that as well. So maybe I'll do a cobalt. The other thing is we went back to Canada recently, and I was in the mall and I went into the Gap. Hadn't been to a mall in forever, let alone into a Gap, and they had such cute clothing in that Gap. First off, I was really inspired being in there. And they had a striped 100% cotton roll neck jumper, and it looked so cute, and it really made me want to make one myself. And I think that this would be a really good pattern for that. The kind of colors that are most top of mind for something like that, I was kind of picturing a navy and a pale yellow. I think that would be really cute. Or classic, a red and a cream, can't go wrong. I've never made a 100% cotton sweater before, and recently I've been wanting to. I think that would be quite nice for the summertime, even though I don't know if I'll make that by the end of this summer, but whatever. Eventually, yeah, I would like to try that out, a 100% cotton jumper. So maybe I will do that with this one, but either way, I really think I will end up making this pattern because, like I said, the shape of it in the designer's Instagram posts is just seeming really lovely. I'm really into it. Okay, so we have two more, and these last two are kind of honorable mentions, I would say, because I really don't have any information about them. They're not in testing, and I don't know like when or if they'll become release patterns anytime soon. So the first one is the Mono Field Jacket by Mono Knits. I think that this designer, Mono Knits, posted this cardigan or this jacket on their Instagram maybe last year, and immediately when I saw this, I was obsessed with it. I love the mix of the ribbing and the cables on this. I love the way that the button band looks, or that you like can't really see the button band. I feel like some patterns that are called jackets often just are a cardigan, and it's like there's nothing really jackety about them. I'm looking at you, Dagmar jacket. That is a cardigan. But this truly does have a bit of a jacket vibe to it, I feel like. There isn't even like full photos of it on the designer's Instagram. It seems like it'll almost have a kind of bomber vibe, if you know what I mean. And the back is fully cabled, and then there's like the two cables in the front and cables down the sleeves. I don't know, I just really love it. The designer made it in an unspun worsted held with a mohair. I don't know if I can get behind using an unspun yarn. Anytime I've used unspun yarns, it's just like a bit of a screw around and they break so easily. I do really love the look of the designer's sample, so maybe I would end up using an unspun, who knows? We will see. But when this does come out, whenever it does eventually, I will be hot on the case. Let me tell you, I've been waiting for this one ever since I saw this designer's photo on their Instagram. I really do like the light gray that this designer knitted in, but again, I'm also thinking that a blood orange red could be really gorgeous for this. I think that is standing out in my mind just now. So we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling at the time, because you never know what kind of colors are going to be really percolating when this does end up coming out. So yeah, that is the Mono Field Jacket. I'm super excited for that one. Okay, and the last one is, I have like absolutely no info on it. I don't know what yarn it was posted in. It wasn't even like, you know, announcing a new pattern. It was just a Happy New Year's post by Rose Knitwear. But the sweater is so gorgeous, and I really hope that Rose Knitwear makes it into a pattern. I know I said at the beginning that I was just doing small designers and new to me designers, which Rose Knitwear is not, and I wouldn't consider them a small designer, but I thought this sweater looked so gorgeous that I just had to include it at the end here. The little stitch pattern that is going on throughout is so cute to me. I really love the look of this. I think the V-neck looks really nice. Yeah, I would totally be into this if it does get made into a pattern. I also really like the dark gray, but I feel like I would knit this in just about any color. I really, really love the look of this one. I love like the thick ribbing. I don't know. It just looks so nice, right? Rose Knitwear, if you're seeing this. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think Rose Knitwear is watching this. But yeah, if this ever does get made into a pattern, again, I'll be there. I'll be there when it does, because this one's really gorgeous. Okay, folks, that is all from me. That is all the patterns I'm going to chat about today. Honestly, I could just keep going for ages about this, like I said, because there's just new patterns being released or tester calls being made every single day. Like, even yesterday and this morning, I was browsing Instagram and seeing more tester calls up and thinking like, oh, should I include that one in the video? And yeah, I could just keep going on and on. I'm so inspired by the stuff that people are making and other people's creativity online. It's just really, really stunning. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know, because I'll make another one of these. This was super fun. And I love looking through new patterns, honestly. I treat it like it's a full-time job. But yeah, and you know what? While I'm putting that out there, comment any other kind of video ideas or things that you would like to see from us. We've got plenty of ideas and are really loving making these videos. But yeah, if there's anything specific that you would want to see us make, then let me know. And we'll keep note of that. And yeah, thank you so much too to everyone who's been watching these videos and liking them and commenting. Honestly, people have just been saying the nicest things and seem to have really been enjoying them, which has been so heartwarming. And I love getting to chat with people in the comments and hear what you all are thinking, what you all are making. It's been so lovely. And so thank you all for the support in that regard. If you enjoyed this video, you can like it, you can subscribe to this channel. If you want to comment down below as well, any new or unreleased patterns that you're excited about, that would be awesome. I'm always curious to hear more about new, unreleased, in testing patterns. So much fun, honestly. So yeah, that is all from me. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week or weekend whenever you're watching this, and I will see you soon in the next one.